Hi guys, in this video we are going to create a HTML form and connecting database to it. So first of all, let's create a folder with name MongoDB2. Let's add out to this file and initialize the node package into this folder by using npm init. Yes. Now let's open it in VS Code by using code dot. It will open it in VS Code. Okay, let's create a HTML file with name form.html. Let's create a boilerplate. Let's link a CSS file by creating form.css. Let's link this file to the HTML file. Okay, let's create a div tag with class name container. In this, let's create a form with method is equals to post. Now let's create a label element. In this, registration number, give the name as registration number and link this label tag to input element by using input type is equals to text and id is equals to registration number. And let's label the element with name, and let's link this label element to input element by using input type is equals to text and id is equals to name. Let's give name also for this input element registration number, and for this also name is equals to name, and then email label for email. Let's enter email. Let's link this label element to an input element type is equals to email, name is equals to email. Let's run it on live server so that we can see the output in browser. Okay, let's add some style to this form. Style container with padding 10 px, max width of 500 px, margin auto. Okay, let's add style into the form element by using display flex and flex direction as column to vertically align the elements. Let's add some gap between them. Okay, now it's looking good. Let's add some background color to the container element by using background color 3. Let's change the font color from black to white. Okay, now it's looking good. Let's add a button element. No, let's add a branch section and a button element. For that, we need label for branch, where branch, and add this select element. Select name is equals to branch, id is equals to branch, and inside this we have to give option tag and give the branches. Let's enter CSC, CSC, PC, PC, triple E, triple E, Mac, Mac, civil, civil. Let's add a button element and type is equals to submit, submit. Okay, now it's looking good. Let's increase the font size of label element by using form label. Let's add this font size as 25 pixels and give some margin bottom of 10 px. Now it's looking good. Let's increase the padding for the input element. Form input. Let's add some padding of 8 pixels. Okay. Let's also add some padding to button. Form button. Padding of 8 px. Okay. Let's also add some padding to branch. Select adding APX. Okay, now it's looking good. Now let's add some background color to the submit. Yes, that 190 dB. Let's remove the border and add some border radius of 10 px. Okay, let's give some margin top to the button of 10 px. Okay, let's add some border radius for input elements also. Border radius of 10 px. Let's remove the border as well as outline. Okay, let's increase the font size for the submit. Font size of 25 px. Let's change the color from black to white by using hashtag FFF. Okay, let's add some padding for form. Padding of 15 px. Now it's looking good. Let's add some border radius to the container element. Okay, it's good. Let's change the body of the background color as well as font family. Let's change the font as well as background color by using body background color. Let's add some dark color. This and font family Arial sans serif. Now let's check it. Okay, let's add some box shadow. Some box shadow of 005px white. Okay, it's looking good, I think. Okay, sorry. Let's run this again. So we have successfully created a form. We need to add a database to it. So whenever user enters something, enters the details and clicking on submit, we're going to store the details into our database. For that, we need a package called Express as well as Mongoose for connecting MongoDB database. So let's install those packages by using npm express as well as Mongoose and path as well as nodemon. Let's install all these modules for our application. Just wait. Okay, it's successfully installed. We can see the installed dependencies in our package.json file. So we can see all the installed dependencies, Express, Mongoose, nodemon, and path. Now let's create a JS file with name server.js. Now in this is our root file, and we need to load all the modules Express, Mongoose, nodemon, path by using require function. Let's load this using require express, require mongoose, and require path. Now we have to store these modules into variables. Let's load the express module in a variable called express, and let's store the mongoose module in a variable called mongoose as well as path module in a path variable. Now we have successfully loaded the modules. We need to give a port number to run our application in a specified port. Now let's give 3019. We can give anything from 3000 to 5000, I think. You can give anything you want. I'm giving 3019. So our application will be runs on this port number. Let's give a reference to this express module and store it in a variable called express so that we can use all the functions that are inside in this express module. In express, we have a function called listen to run our application in a specified port number. So let's run app.listen. Now first we can see first parameter is a callback. We are going to give port, and the second one is the arrow function. Let's console it a message like server started. To know whether our application is started or not, we can simply go to terminal and run our JS file, node server.js. Let's run it. We can see server started. If we are not seeing this message, that means our application is not started on a port number. So let's run it by using server.js. We can see server is started. So that we can simply go to a port number of 3019. We don't have any content to display. So in Express, we have also called get method. Let's use that and display something. First one is the root parameter and second is the arrow function. Let's simply say hello world. Now let's run it using nodemon. Nodemon package is used to restart the file whenever we are changing something in our files. It will automatically restarts the file whenever we make any changes here. So for that, we have simply give nodemon server.js. Then it will watch. Then it will watch our files. Nodemon will watch our files and change and updates the code whenever we are making any changes here. Now server started again. Now let's go to the localhost 3019 so that we can see hello world message. Localhost 3019 can see hello world. Let's replace this file. For that we need path module. Path module is used to specify the HTML files. Now instead of this, we can simply use send file, and in this function we can use path. And in our path module there is a function called join to use this and directory name and the name of our HTML file. Then refresh it. We can see this, but our styles are not applied. Okay, for that we have to use we have to include app.use express static and their name. I think now our CSS styles will be applied. Yes. Now we have successfully rendered our HTML file using Node. Now we have to include database, our MongoDB database. For that, we need a MongoDB account. You can simply install MongoDB from browser, and you will see this interface. Now let's just use connect. We can see all the databases, and we are going to create a database called students. Before we can see anything, we cannot see any database with student. Now we are going to create a student database using Mongoose package. For that, we are going to use Mongoose. In Mongoose, we have a function called connect for connecting a MongoDB database. In this, we need to use MongoDB localhost or 127.127.0.0.1. This is our localhost IP address. After that, we have to give the MongoDB server port number, which is 27017. Just give it, and after that, we have to give the database name here. I'm going to name it as students mongoose.connect. Let's give a variable name and mongoose.connection db dot once open going to console a message like MongoDB connection successful. Yes, we can see MongoDB connection successful. If our database is not connected successfully, we cannot see this message, but we are able to seeing this MongoDB connection successful message. That means we have successfully connected. MongoDB database to our node application. Now let's define a schema. Schema means our structure of the database. Let's create a schema like new mongoose. In mongoose there is a function called schema, and in this we have to create a objects like name and the type of the that value. The data type of the name is string, so we're going to use string. Let's give input id name is equals to name. First let's give this register number in our schema. Register number string, and then let's give name. This is also a string. After that we're going to give email. This is also a string, and then branch. This is also a string. Now let's store this in a variable called user schema. Const user schema. Now let's create a class with users, and in my mongoose dot model. In mongoose we have a function called module. In this we need to give a collection name. I'm going to give it as data, and then we have to give this user schema. Now this users is a class, so that we can create an instance using this users. So for that we need to whatever user enters here and clicks on submit, they are going to post the details. So we need to use post. In Express we have a function called post for handling post request, and name it as a post. The second parameter is an arrow function. In this arrow function, let's give it as this is going to be an asynchronous function. Let's give an arrow and curly braces. So whatever user enters here, all that data will be should be parsed into an object called request.body. So to parse the user details into the request.body object, we need a middleware function that is called app.use and express.url encoded, and this is an object extended is equals to true. So by including this middleware function, we can successfully get all the student details in request.body object, so that we can handle whether the particular student is already stored in our database or not. So let's handle post request. Let's name the action as, so after submitting the form, the route should be this. For that we need to include action is equals to post. Then we need to create a function like user new. We have to use this to create an instance. So users, and we need to store register number, comma name, comma email, comma branch. After storing it, you can simply save the user. You can also see it in a console using console.log user. Then when after user submits the form, we need to let the user know that they successfully submitted the form. For that we need to send a message like Form submission successful. Now after user entered something here and click on submit, then all the data will be stored into our database. And also you can see form submission successful message here. Initially there is a no database called students. Now we, after let's type something here like one name something like Ramesh, email as ramesh@gmail.com, and let's select a C. So after submitting the form, we can see all the data here in the database. Just wait. Let's submit the form. Oh, sorry. I think I have made some mistake. Yes. Okay. We should be parenthesis. Let's run the file again. Nodemon server.js. Let's refresh this. We're seeing cannot post. Just wait. I think I have made a mistake. Register number is not defined. Okay. We need to specify this name comma. Let's run the server again by using nodemon server.js. Let's run the localhost 3019. Let's enter the student details and Ramesh, Ramesh@gmail.com. Click on submit. Let's refresh the database. Yes, now we will get the student details. Let's enter another student details, whether it's working successful or not. Let's replace this with Suresh and Suresh@gmail.com. Let's select the branch as EC and click on submit. Now let's refresh the database. Yes, we got the details of the second student. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.